Hello, my name is Diane Burrell, and this is for part A of discussion post number 3. So I'll be going over the Ed TPA lesson plan, and I'm using a sample for PE. So here at the top, we have our name, lesson and unit. So for this sample, he is doing the intro to Olympic lifting. We show the duration of the lesson, grade level, and then grade subject, physical education. So the first part here is the central focus of unit. So basically, what we want our students to learn about this topic and just breaking down the different concepts. And then we also have the content focus here. So for this sample, he wants the students to be able to discuss and explain the sequence of a Olympic lifting technique, and then also to be able to demonstrate and evaluate other classmates. So that will be the central focus. Here we have the standards. So he listed the Common Core state standards, which basically states the relevance um, of this lesson plan and the standards that they fall under. And then here you can see some of them have been striked, which means that they're just not relevant to part of this lesson. Next, we have the instructional learning objectives. So basically, what the result will be of learning from this lesson and what the outcome will be. So, like he kind of stated, in the central focus, he wants the students to be able to discuss and explain and also demonstrate the lifts. And then the assessments portion is how students will be able to assess their own learning and how we'll also assess their learning. We'll have an informal way of assessment and a formal way as well. Next, we have the language function and demands. So considering the importance of speaking, listening, reading, and or writing as a part of all learning. So how will we provide opportunities for students to practice these language functions? So what we consider essential here in the sample, he says again that they'll be able to state and explain. So additional language demands kind of just goes over vocabulary and key phrases that they need for this lesson. Next is resources and materials, which is pretty self-explanatory, just all the things that they'll need. Here he has an iPhone so that they're able to film themselves, barbell, all the materials they need to learn the Olympic lifting. The next section is student prior knowledge. So what do students need to know already? What have they learned that has them prepared for this lesson? Next is the introduction and anticipatory set. So how will this lesson be introduced to the students, and how does this continue their prior learning and knowledge? Hook/purpose for learning. So how does this pique students' interest? Making sure that it's something that reflects what they want to do and want to learn. Next is focused instruction modeling. So how will it be presented to the students? How will it be taught? Just some examples. He states that students will be partnered up and then demonstrate it with each other. The differentiating scaffolds, it's just ways to accommodate to students who need extra help. So here he'll have students that might need to use lighter bars. Next is the guided instruction / practice. So how will students be given the opportunity to practice what they're learning? And then another section for accommodations. For example, for English learning students, he'll have them partnered with a bilingual partner. The next section is independent practice. So how can students master this lesson on their own? And he puts a good example of letting them film themselves and then getting feedback from peers. And then more accommodation in the differentiating / scaffold section. And lastly, we have closure. So how will we bring closure to this activity lesson? And basically how we'll end the unit and kind of conclude on their knowledge of this topic. So yeah, just has to be very detailed. The lesson plan is very clear cut and tells us what we need to put. So super simple. Thank you.